Hello and welcome back to the channel. I am at Porsche Reading, and Porsche Reading GB, Porsche GB Reading. I don't actually know what the real. I should look that up. And I just came to have a look because they have in the showroom a GT3, a brand new. Pardon me, a brand new Riviera Blue GT3. So full on GT3, not the touring. Got the big fat spoiler on the back that looks like, you know, a ski. Anyway, so I just thought I'd come and have a look, just because I've never seen one up close, and it is huge. But they also had a Speedster, a 2019 Speedster with one previous owner, and it's over £300,000. Manual, so someone's had it for nearly 3 years and done 623 miles in it. That is weird. I mean, why would you have such a car? I mean, it looks spectacular. It looks great. It's got all the decals on it. It's got number 77 on the side. But it's manual. I was shocked. But then at the GT3, I mean, it is so huge. The wheel's so huge. The disc's so huge. Just standing next to it. I mean, if you read the dimensions written down, compared my 996.1 to a brand new 992 GT3, then you'd think actually it's not that different, but it is. I mean, it's huge. My mind's like, I really like the fact that it's narrow bodied. Let's get it through the lights. I haven't warmed it up and I'm only just driving it after a couple of weeks. Keep down. Oh, 7,000 RPM. I shouldn't really be doing that. Considered all the knocking and, you know, where it didn't have enough oil, all of that stuff. And it's probably going to explode, and I don't have any money anyway. So, but you know, that's what it's for, not for exploding. 7,000. I don't think it does it quite so easily anymore. I just think it needs to work a little bit harder. It was really nice going to the dealership just to see how it's taking shape. I thought it's fantastic what they're doing. The fact that it's going to become a bit of a hub. There's going to be obviously a massive showroom. There's going to be conference rooms. There's going to be a coffee shop. I hope it's a really good one, because then it's in between where a lot of my friends live, so it'd be a really easy place to meet, see all the latest stuff, see if they've got any events coming up. It'd be amazing. But yeah, just reading up. I mean, just reading up about that Speedster. You know, the options that it had. I'll post. I'll add in a photo of the options that I took. Then you've got the Porsche pedal road bike, which is kind of, I think it was like £8,000, which I guess if you're looking at buying that kind of thing, that's a drop in the ocean. You've probably already got a GT3 that you're not driving because you're saving on the mileage, and you're saving it so the next person can really enjoy it and put some mileage on it. Then you might buy the bike, so you can go out on that and put the mileage on that. It probably registers the mileage anyway, so you know, you can sell it as low mileage for a lot of money. But anyway, the thing is, this car, I've not taken it out at all, and I should not have done that, flooring it. It didn't feel great. It felt like it was working harder than usual. It still went just as quickly to 7,000. I didn't take it any further. But then it's not like it ran out of steam. It was just like, the noise was like, I was working a bit harder. Anyway, so the podcast, really enjoying doing that with Mark. We've had some terrific guests. I mean, we had Lee Sibley on, who got a mention from Jerry Seinfeld and Spike's Car Radio. I mean, come on. and he's still going on about 912s. Speaking of which, no, I haven't got mine out. I haven't taken it out of storage or used it or anything like that. But from the photographer extraordinaire, he's bought a 1966 912 as well. So it'd be great to hear from him on what the process was, why he decided to buy it, all of that. Because because I've got a 1966 912, I'm sure his is all matching numbers, documented history, probably original paint. But let's talk to him and find out. We'll get him back on the podcast and see what he's got. The other thing is, on the job front, I never know what to call these videos because I'm just rambling away. But on the job front, someone called me up and said, "Oh, are you interested in doing this kind of thing?" I'm like, "Oh, could be interesting." So I have a first conversation with somebody, and they go, "Yeah, let's talk again." So I go and talk to the managing director. He comes down and says, "Yeah, you know what? I think you're the right person for the job." So then they go, "Oh, can you just do this quick presentation?" And by this point, you're starting to think, "Actually, I really want this thing," and you're emotionally invested. So. And they're constantly asking, "Are you talking to anybody else? Are you talking to anybody else?" And I went, "Well, I'm not." And I was, but I stopped. And I went, "Okay, I'm actually all in on this." And then you have another conversation with somebody and they're like, "You know what, I think you're the right person." And then you hear later that they hired somebody who looks and sounds like everybody else, and it's someone within the business knows them, and they've got this particular skill that I could have highlighted that I have, but they didn't ask for it. It wasn't in the job description, and nobody ever said, "Oh, are you able to do this?" So I never mentioned it. So that's a bit weird. But anyways, this is just an update of what's been happening this week. So I went to see my mum, who lives up north, kind of in the Midlands, because she celebrates the end of Ramadan, and because she's a Muslim, and it was her birthday, and she's, old, set in her ways, and just some of the conversations that I had with her are just crazy, because she does this thing. I might have said this before, so I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself, and I'll probably talk about it on the podcast, because I feel like I need a two-way. I need to talk to Mark about it, or anybody else who's on. But she says things like, "Do you know that guy?" And she gives a name of somebody I've never heard of, and she went, "Do you know him?" And I'm like, "Well, no, I don't know him." And then she'll mention a different name, and she went, "This guy went to school with your dad. My dad died 20 years ago. He would now be 90. And she would say, "Well, he went to school with this other guy went to school with your dad, right?" Well, his son got married to somebody whose husband is this person, and this person has died. So I'm like, okay, so how many steps of people is that from the first person who would be connected to me? The nearest person to me is the guy who went to school with my dad. So from my dad, the very next person she mentioned, I don't know who that is. And then she's gone another 3 or 4 steps to people that I don't know, that I would never have any interaction with, I have nothing in common with. And she goes, "Well, he's died. You need to go and pay your respects." I'm like, but I say in a frustrated, because when you're talking to your parents, you revert to being a child. And I say, "But Mum, I don't know him." "What? Well, no, I don't know, not him." "Mum, I don't know them. I didn't know him. I'm not going to go and pay my respects. That would be really weird." And she always comes back with that line that just doesn't even make sense to me. She goes, "Well, how are you going to know them if you don't go and see them?" And it just goes back to, it's exactly the same I've had this conversation as an adult. I've had this conversation probably 1,000 times. But then it reminds me of the movie Cemetery Junction with Ricky Gervais. That's his movie. He wrote it, produced it, starred in it. And he, in that movie, he says, so there's a guy, he's set in the 70s, I think, or 60s, and it's the man from the Cemetery Junction. It's because it's called Cemetery Junction because that's an area in Reading, and that's where Ricky Gervais grew up. So anyway, he says to his mum and dad, I want to travel, I want to see the world, I want to go to Europe, I want to go to, you know, Paris, Rome, Madrid. And his mum says, what do you want to go and see those places for? There's bits in Reading that you haven't seen yet. And that's what it feels like talking to my mum sometimes. It's that thing, you know, where she says, it's just in my head that makes me laugh. At the same time, I want to saying it to me. How are you gonna know them if you don't go and see them? I mean, she's right. How are you gonna know these people that you don't want to know and you don't know who they are and you don't want to go and see them if you don't go and see them? So it's kind of clear that if I don't go and see them, then I'm not going to get to know them, and it's all good, right? Anyway, that I don't even know if I can make a video out of this. I don't even think I should. It says WTF on the... Is that infantile? It says WTF on the number plate of that van, which is, you know, short for what the fuck. It says YGA on the next one along, which is short for yoga in my mind. I think I need to get out more. I'm losing my mind. Anyway, the giveaway. We're going to give away the mug on the next podcast. I'm recording tomorrow with Mark. We're going to have a guest on. It's going to be amazing. And I'm sorry for this rambling video about me just getting in the car and going, oh, Tina's told me there's a GT3 there and it's Riviera Blue. I might as well go and see it myself. Anyway, I'll post the pictures. I'll insert them in the video and I'll put them on Instagram. This is why I'm not getting any subscribers or viewers. And Family Guy is one of my favorite shows, and there's one of the cutaways is where there's a guy and he's in a coma, but he's thinking, and while he's in a coma, and while he's thinking, oh, this is it, it's quiet time, this is me time, this is great, and then he comes up with an idea for a book or a movie or something, and then he talks to himself a little bit more, and then he goes, oh, what was that idea again? And he goes, oh no, this is it, this is exactly why your wife shot you. And it's just kind of, I was going to say, it feels like how my life is at the moment. No one shot me. My wife hasn't shot me yet. But I just need to get my shit together because I think I'm just going a bit balmy. Anyway, thank you everybody for watching. I don't know what I'm going to call this video. And I'm going to go out in the Boxster because I don't go out in these cars. I need to go out in the Boxster and then use it a little bit, and then I want to sell it because I desperately need the money, and then it's get back on the job market, get back in the game, try to psych myself up while looking at the what the fuck number plate. Anyway, thank you for tuning in because that was back in the day where you had to tune a dial to tune in a channel, right? Anyway, thank you for watching. Thank you everybody for subscribing, everyone who has, and hitting like. I'm going to do a little thing on the next video about how my YouTube channel is doing. I'm laughing because it is quite funny. Anyway, catch you on the next one. Bye.